Hey YouTube, it's Scott with Inside the Curve, back with another video. Today I'm going to show you how I cut this Route 66 catch-all tray on my CNC router. Let's get to it. So here we started out with some white oak that I purchased at a local sawmill here in Oklahoma. Stock size is starting out at about an inch and an eighth thick. We'll get that down to size here shortly. So here we are at the planer now, DeWalt planer, the DW735 I think it is. Somebody probably correct me in the comments. I'm just planing that down to at least around the inch mark or until the surfaces clean up. This is rough cut lumber from the mill there. Couple passes through there. I don't know if anybody in their shop uses calipers, but they're a great tool to have. It could be a little bit of machinist machining I do at work that makes me kind of biased to them, I guess. They definitely add a whole different level of precision to your woodworking. Here's a shot of all the chips going out. I really do need to add this into my shop. Some better dust collection, as well as my joiner here on this next clip you'll see. I just been pulling it out there on the floor, so I really don't have my shop layout dialed in, but here I'm just doing the same thing, passing this across the joiner a few times, really trying to get that surface cleaned up best I can. That way I have parallel surfaces. This is a Grizzly joiner here. I can't remember the exact model number on it, but I had to drive quite a ways to get this. I needed it for a project that I did for a customer that was quite a good project, and I think I had to drive about 3 hours one way to get this thing because there's none used in my local area, and new was just too much money. So now we got it all cleaned up there. Just chopping this down to a good size that I kind of defined in V-carve, Aspire that I'm using. I can't remember the actual dimensions right now, but they go somewhere in the 10 by 6 size. So I use these Craig screws because I got a big flat head, and I just screwing that down to my spoil board. You can see I got the holes there right there on my spoil board. That was for an idea. I had to use little copper pieces, copper fittings that go down there and use like cam locks. You can see a piece of copper down there in the bottom, but I've never made the cam locks, and my spoil board really doesn't need a good redesign. I do kind of need to raise the height because I do run it a Z if I run a short cutter. Get that all secured down. I just kind of did the four corners area, and they're kind of pinched between each screw. Now here I'm just going to jog the machine over and find my 0 on it. You can't really see the pencil mark, but I kind of just drew a diagonal across corners there where they intersect in the middle to help find my origin point. I normally base everything off the center of the part. That makes it easiest for any kind of deviation I might have, and I always make sure I have a little bit of excess around my outside of where I'm cutting my parts at. Now I'm setting my Z using the Gerbil software. I have had a little bit of a problem with the touch probe on here. It seems like I have to run it all in millimeter. If anybody's got any how to make that work better, it'd be greatly appreciated. And the retract height doesn't come up very high either. It probably comes up maybe 40 thousandths after it touches the touch plate. So here we're starting off with a 1/4 inch straight flute cutter. That's what I use for all the roughing on this. Of getting this dish shape put in there. I think it steps down in maybe 3 or 4 levels. I think it steps down 3/4 of an inch, so there's about a 1/4 inch in the bottom, or 3/8. I can't exactly remember. It's been a while since I've done this project. Just took me a while to get the video done. Here's kind of shot of the ball screws running here. This machine does have ball screws, obviously. This is all a custom built CNC machine running with an Arduino. I have another video on my page. You can kind of see, I'll walk through that. I think I was running about 90 inches a minute. We've stepped down in it now, roughing it out with that 1/4 inch. I think this process took about 15 minutes, I think, to get it all roughed out. And shot from the opposite side of where the starter motor is. You can see those nice shavings down there. There's that 1/4 inch cutter still, and we're just roughing out around the letters. We've finally got our bottom, working in our bottom depth there, getting everything defined. There's those nice chips coming off it. Looking very good. You can see everything's roughed in back there. Getting everything cleaned up now. We're going to go ahead and switch over to a ball nose end mill here in a second. It's just a 1/4 inch ball nose. That'll help get everything rounded over. And here's the finish of the roughing. Using our touch plate again to set our Z height on our tool. I think my least favorite thing about my router setup is this spindle. I just get so tired hearing it screaming. I normally try to put my headphones in. Maybe someday I'll upgrade to another spindle, or just looking at possibly getting a bigger machine at some time. Of course, money is always the barrier in that. But so you can see we're doing a 3D roughing pass. I'm just going over it. This is kind of the default 3D roughing of Spire. Here's some view of it going on from the side. There it is. All 3D roughed in. Going around the outside now. Cleaning that surface up. There's a little bit of chatter on this back edge. I'm not really sure what's going on. This is the Z plate back there. It is beefed up compared to what it was. I did use the open builds plate, but then I ended up cutting a thicker, I think this is like 3/8 aluminum plate, and it really stiffened it up. I still do need a little bit of work, but it's definitely a big improvement from what I had when I first started using the machine. You can kind of see what it looked like before on my Instagram page at Inside the Curve. So now here we're cutting the EOP. EOP's edge apart. It's kind of usually the term we use in our work. So here we're using a 1/8 inch down cut. I don't normally like to use down cut because there's just the risk of all the heat going down inside the work surface. So I want to have an up cut to really get those chips out of there. But I'm here watching it, so if something does go awry, we can get it taken care of quickly as we can. But that's just I think it was a used bit that I found somewhere or another, so I just threw it in there. So it cuts around there, put a few tabs on it, and then here is the finished shot of that. Everything there, no sanding. This is straight off the machine. I think the only thing I did was take the tabs off. Just use the router table for that. But there you go. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to go ahead and like and subscribe. I'm going to be pumping these videos out this next couple weeks. So until next time, have a good one.